Warning.
This video may be a little long, and what I'm about to say may ruffle some feathers, but these notes are my least favorite fragrance notes. I'm not the biggest fan of these, but I am open to trying fragrances and I am open to having my mind changed. So if you have any fragrance recommendations with these notes in them, leave them in the comments. Let's get to it. The first one, I'm gonna call these notes the popular girls of autumn. Okay, we're talking about pumpkin, apple, and cinnamon. We know that pretty soon places like Dunkin' and Starbucks are all going to start launching their fall menus with these flavors, and fragrance companies are going to start releasing them with these notes in them, but I'm just not the biggest fan. Cinnamon is too spicy for me. Breathing it in, it kind of like makes my nose burn. And apple, I don't know, like I feel like if it's done right, maybe. I haven't had an apple fragrance that I really just cared for. And pumpkin, I'm just not the biggest fan of. I'll eat pumpkin pie, but that's about as far as I'll go. And I am open to trying different fragrances, but it's probably gonna be a no. The next one is Japanese cherry blossom. This used to be a fragrance that I did like at one point, a fragrance note that I did like. But at one point, it just started to become too much. It became too overbearing, and it actually made my head hurt. And I feel like it's very potent, and I like a good potent fragrance, but I feel like this was too much. I just, if you're having it in a small space, I don't think it's good for that. But I mean, hey, if you like it, good for you, but for me, no. Lavender is just really not that exciting of a note for me, honestly. Sometimes I feel like it can, you know, like when you open up raw cocoa powder and you have to put it in like a mixture or whatever, it chokes you because that is so potent and so strong. And sometimes lavender can be that for you, for me anyway. And I'm just not the biggest fan of it. And I feel like sometimes it could be a bit overbearing. It's not the worst to have in a fragrance, you know what I'm saying? I would reach for it, you know. It's not a total, you know, like lost cause, but if I had to pick between lavender and another note, it'd probably be the second option. Like lavender wouldn't be the first one I'd run to. The next group of notes we're going to talk about are citrus notes. So orange, grapefruit, lemon. Not really the biggest fans of those notes in particular. I don't know, me and citrus, we ain't just, my nose ain't just really vibe with them like that and really rock with them like that. Now, if they are in a fragrance, which I do find that they are in some, and they're not too overbearing, because I feel like that's the thing with citrus notes. It's just that and nothing else. If it's not that, you know what I'm saying, I'll buy a fragrance with maybe mandarin or lemon, you know, and I actually have, and you know, I've smelled more of like a vanilla or lavender or whatever in the fragrance. But sometimes those citrus notes can be a little bit too much. I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan. Last but not least, we're gonna talk about patchouli. Patchouli is like, again, I will try a fragrance where patchouli is done right, but I'm just not a fan. I smelled a few of them with that note in it, and it just felt like it was very patchouli dominant, and maybe that was the point. There was a fragrance at Bath and Body Works that I sniffed, and I'm just like, had patchouli in it. I'm like, no, I don't smell any of the other notes, and it has to be patchouli. And I don't think I'm the biggest fan of like earthy scents either. I feel like that's kind of what that is. But when I looked it up, it said it can be earthy, woody, musky, or sweet. So again, if you have any fragrance recommendations with that note or any of the other notes that I've mentioned in this video that you feel like I would like, leave them in the comments because I am open to trying them. But for right now, these notes are my least favorites.